This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everybody. It's hello, Optimist sisters from across the Federation. It's wonderful you could join us today from wherever you are dialing in. We have around 60 or more Optimists listening in this afternoon, which is absolutely wonderful. I am Jackie Pennell, and I'm the chair of the Plant Trees Working Party, and I'd like to welcome you to the Centennial Plant Trees for a Brilliant Future webinar series. This series aims to highlight the benefits of tree planting and to hear from experts in their field giving advice on all things environmental. Each webinar will have a guest speaker and will focus on a key topic. Webinars will be advertised in the news brief, on the website, and across social media in the 4 weeks running up to each event. So now over to today's webinar and a bit of housekeeping. There's a lot of us on this webinar, so if everybody could keep your cameras switched off and stay on mute, then for the duration of the program, then it will maximize the listening experience for everybody. The webinar will run for approximately 45 minutes. Grace Onions will be managing the questions today. If you could type your questions in the chat during the talk, then Grace will review them and share with our speaker. We will do our very best to make sure all the questions are covered, but if we run out of time, then we'll make sure your questions are responded to, and we'll share the responses with you via the website. So if you are all sitting comfortably, it's my pleasure now to hand over to our host today, Naina Shah. She's a member of SA China Downtown, and until very recently was the SIGBI Assistant Programme Director for Planet. Over to you, Naina.
Thank you, Jackie. I'm here to introduce our very eminent speaker today, Professor Dr. Sultan Ahmad Ismail, who is the director of the Eco Research Foundation, a not-for-profit Department of Zoology and later the Department of Biotechnology at the New College, Chennai. He has done extensive work both in research and applied on ecology and environment, earthworms and organic inputs since 1979. He has been associated with several institutions associated with several institutions and has just one moment, please. Sorry. He has been associated with several institutions, farmers, and self-help groups promoting concepts of ecology, sustainability, organic concepts, waste management, wastewater treatment, etc. He has been conferred with several awards, the Cast Me Award for 1994-95 in UK, the Aringer Nanna Award by the Department of Environment of Government of Tamil Nadu for 2005, the Award of Excellence presented by His Excellency the Governor of Jharkhand in December 2010, and a Special Contribution Award for outstanding contributions to earthworm industry at the first World Earthworm Industry Forum in China in June 2018. He has been conferred with Champion of Chennai Award in 2019 and the Beacon of Hope Award in February 2020. Classified as one among the top 10 people of Tamil Nadu by Ananda Vigadam, a leading Tamil magazine. He has traveled widely in India and abroad with rich expertise in environmental issues and has addressed about 30,000 people by this time. He has been a member of the Tamil Nadu Curriculum Framework Committee to oversee syllabus revision and implementation for grades 1 to 12 for the Government of Tamil Nadu, and Chairman of Scientific Review Committee Initiative for Research and Innovation in STEM, IRIS program of Ministry of Science and Technology for Government of India, Vice President of Preparatory Committee of the World Earthworm Industry Federation. His books, the Earthworm Book, has been translated in Tamil, Chinese, and Persian, and Manamakal Mahasul Tamil are popular among the academics and other interested earthworm and soils, while his coordinated simple tasks and great concepts is a boon to science teachers and students with 100 life science experiments which any child can perform without a laboratory. He has published about 80 research uh, papers, review papers in national and international journals, guided up to 32 MPhil and 20 PhD students. Over to you, Professor Ismail.
Thank you very much, Naina, and thank you very much, Pauline, for this wonderful opportunity. Thanks to all the members of Star Optimist. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. I would like to take you through a journey, a relaxed journey. So just relax yourself. When we talk about environment and take you further about environment, I just wish to talk about sustainable living, the way forward for Earth's sake. And in this journey for Earth's sake, please understand that I have not come here to teach you anything new, but just share and learn in the process. Just share and learn in the process. In some of the slides, apart from English, you may find one more script, and that is Tamil, which is from my own state in India. So some of those scripts may come, so please try to overlook them if you're not able to follow it. It doesn't matter because all those words will be in English as well. Today, environment. Environment is being attacked by bullets. The major bullets being solid waste. The second important bullet, effluents. Third bullet, encroachment of land by various people. You have soil use patterns. You have hazardous chemicals being released. And last but not the least, the water use pattern. All these we have mismanaged over a period of time. And COVID is one of the reasons for these mismanagements as well. It's just not the virus just comes like that. People talk about climate change. People talk about climate change, and many programs are introduced in the name of climate change, and people call about restoration. People say that lake restoration, soil restoration, forest restoration. Please follow this carefully. A human being who drives a two-wheeler, meets with an accident, and his limb is amputated. If he can give back his original leg, that is called as restoration. We can't give back the original leg. What we give is a wooden leg, and that is rehabilitation. So what we can do for nature is only rehabilitation, because human beings cannot restore nature. Nature restores itself, and for this there are two ways of approach. One is mitigation. Mitigation is what and the reasons why you people have all met today. Or adaptation, where I just say that I don't care. So mitigation is a positive approach for the environment. It all starts right from school. I would like to appreciate, in case Soroptimus talks to children, We always tell in schools as well as in institutions the difference between non-living and living. We tell people air is non-living, and we tell ourselves living, but we don't tell anybody that if you remove the non-living air from the body, we become non-living. Water is non-living, we are living. Remove the non-living water from the body, we become non-living. So living and non-living are inseparably interrelated. This concept should be understood. And that is our beautiful ecosystem. In our ecosystem, we find human beings, birds, butterflies, plants, everything over there. And two major things take place. One, energy flows. Energy flows, whereas nutrient cycle. Energy flows, nutrient cycle. And this is where I want our people to understand the difference, that if I ask you who eats more, an elephant will eat more or a dog will eat more. Naturally, people say that an elephant will eat more. But if you take the weight of an elephant and try to understand what is the weight of an elephant, the elephant weighs about 5,000 kilos, whereas a dog weighs around 20 kilos. If I have to give fodder to the elephant, I may give 50 kgs of fodder per day. But for the dog, I may give 1 kilogram of meat every day. Food and medicine is always calculated based on body weight. So a 5,000 kg elephant eats 50 kgs of grass, which means 1 kg of the elephant will eat 10 grams of food. Whereas a dog eats 50 grams of food. So who eats more? A dog eats more than an elephant. Why should a dog eat more than an elephant? A dog eats more than an elephant because the elephant is in this trophic level and it eats the grass, which fixes the energy. Whereas the dog is in a trophic level which eats the meat of an animal, which eats the grass. That's the reason why we human beings, we are mostly vegetarians. We are all mostly vegetarians because when you go to any restaurant and order for a non-vegetarian meal, we also get so many things which are vegetables with little bit of meat in it. You have salad, you have rice, or you have bread, you have so many accessories which have a plant base, because plant base provides more energy than a non-vegetarian base. Here is where you must understand the concept of this word. This word ECO, echo. Echo means home, home or a place where we live. Earth is a place where we live. If I study the home, it is called as ecology. If I evaluate the home, it is called as economy. The problem today is a clash between ecology and economy. And in this clash, something burns. And what burns is ecology. Because people want economy. Biodiversity is a huge concept where bio means life and diversity means variety. This year's theme of the United Nations is Celebrate Biodiversity. Your club is planting trees, but please understand that we have a variety of vegetables, that is our biodiversity. And in this biodiversity, when you take one particular vegetable also, you may get several varieties. You take tomatoes, there are several varieties of tomatoes. We have beautiful flowers in our country. We have lovely birds everywhere. We have magnificent animals everywhere. And that is where this complication starts between different groups of organisms which can be present. Even though cattle, we find local and outside cattle, even though we find in all these things existing, unfortunately today, people are working towards removing the male animals from the population. Please understand these concepts of ecology. People have developed technology where sperms collected from the bull can be segregated, and all the sperms which can produce bulls will be exterminated so that only cows will be produced. In the same way, we have chicken. Chicken, the biodiversity is a large variety of native chicken are present. But unfortunately, today, we believe only in one variety of chicken which the whole world eats. And this Mediterranean breed, which the whole world eats today, when previous years, it will become a 70 kg animal, it will stand straight. But today, in 45 days, is unable to stand straight because of a lot of chemicals which go in the production of poultry. The same thing is true about fish. You take fish, for example, there are beautiful fish, like you people have a lot of trout with you, salmon with you, right? We have freshwater fish, we have a variety of marine fish. Though all these are available, most of the world imports fish from some countries where this particular fish, which is a catfish, the skin is removed, the bone is removed, the fillet are chemically treated, deep frozen, and finally served to you on a platter in a beautiful way. So we talk about biodiversity, but we are not concerned about biodiversity. Shall we have fish with bones in them? Why all this happens? The problem is, if I have to protect the tiger, I say protect the tiger. But we are not bothered about a tiger requires one deer, for example, to satisfy its food, its appetite. And if one tiger requires one deer in 1 week, so a tiger requires 52 deers per year. If there should be 52 deers, then there should be 522 deers in the population so that the tiger can take 52 deers. If there should be 520 deers in the population, there should be 5,200 hectares of land with fertile soil which produces fodder for the deers. We don't care about the soil, we don't care about the fodder, but we are concerned about the tiger. In the same way, we have been moving with animals and transferring these diseases, zoonosis. Please have this in mind when you are planning your programs. In fact, COVID-19 or corona disease is also a type of zoonotic disease. In India, we have a large variety of cattle. We have a large number of cattle. And cattle were part of our agriculture system. And it so happened suddenly the tractor came in and we said that we don't need cattle anymore. We don't need cattle anymore. Cattle, if we don't need, the tractor does not give us dung. Dung is required for the soil, right? So when we used to plow the soil with cattle, what happened was the soil came up and air went inside. When we use very heavy machinery and plow the soils, then what happens is the soil becomes compact. If the soil becomes compact, the air in the soil escapes. And when the air in the soil escapes, the soil organisms die. Please understand this. And congratulations to your team for tree planting campaigns and tree planting programs. But why do I need a tree? Why do I need a tree? I need a tree because it gives me oxygen, it gives me soil fertility, it protects erosion control, it also controls air pollution, it provides shelter for a large number of organisms, it provides us with flowers, fruits, lumber. But please understand that every day we inhale 550 liters of oxygen. And the cost of this oxygen today is so many US dollars per day. Each one of us is inhaling. And one single tree per year can produce $3,200,000 worth of oxygen per year. But we look at a tree as though it is going to give us money. And when we cut down the trees, and when the rain comes, the soil splashes out. And all this topsoil goes away into the sea. Please remember that nature takes, at an average, 250 to 400 years to develop 1 inch of topsoil. 1 inch of topsoil. So your program is not just tree planting. Your program is protection of the soil. And in this protection of the soil, why should I protect the soil? What is soil? Soil is, after all, non-living. According to textbooks, soil is just a mineral matter. And that is where I started my research and started working on to prove it's beyond that. Logical proof, not scientific, but logical. People ask me whether soil has a digestive system. If you find an animal lying dead on the surface of the soil, it stinks in 2-3 days. But if you dig a pit, put the animal, bury it, it does not stink. Why? Microorganisms are digesting the soil inside. We also have microorganisms in the intestine. So logically speaking, soil has a digestive system. People ask me whether soil has a respiratory system. Just like we take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide, soil also takes in oxygen, gives out carbon dioxide. Then they ask me whether soil has a circulatory system. Well, if I get hurt in my leg, doctor gives me a tablet. I don't feed the tablet to my leg. I put it in my mouth. How does the medicine reach there? The blood takes it over there. You have plants at home. Do you pull up the plant every day and feed the root? No. You put water on the top, you put manure on the top, you put compost on the top, and all this goes automatically inside through the circulatory system of the soil. Then they ask me, does it have an excretory system? Just like we go out to the toilet to throw out the urea from our body, saline soils and sodic soils bring the salt and throw it outside. So soil has excretory system. Then they ask me whether it has a reproductive system. You all know about in vitro fertilization, which is commonly called as test tube baby. Now this zygote which is prepared, the fertilized ovum, has to be kept in the uterus of the mother. Only then it can grow. In the same way, tissue culture plants have to be kept in the soil. Only then the plants grow. So logically speaking, plants have a reproductive system. The final thing was the best when people asked me whether soil has a brain. Does soil have a brain? My research tells me that soil has a brain. In what way does soil have a brain? Please note this carefully. You dig a pit and put all the biomass into it, leaves, etc. It will decompose. But if you put a seed into it, it will germinate. Soil knows what to decompose and what to germinate. Such a beautiful soil, a living soil, should have soil organic matter. Please see to it that when you grow trees, you are improving the organic matter of the soil. Unfortunately, we use a large quantity of chemicals in the form of fertilizers, in the form of pesticides, and the governments say that our production is increasing. But actually, according to farmers, our production has started decreasing. Please follow this carefully for your own home garden. Supposing you have a plant which weighs 100 grams. You dry it in the hot sun for 2-3 days. It becomes 30 grams, which means 70 grams of water has evaporated. If you burn this plant and convert it into ash, and the ash is 300 milligrams, the remaining has gone into air. Please understand, what a plant takes from water gives back as water. What a plant takes from air gives back as air. So what is required is little quantity. Unfortunately, we dump so many chemicals that goes and contaminates the groundwater. Here is a farmer whose farm I went. This farmer's farm is so beautiful. It's tomatoes. And please understand that border crop is marigold. Marigold is an excellent plant. It's an excellent pest repellent. I congratulate it. But he uses endosulfan in tomatoes. Endosulfan is a banned chemical in the US. But in Asian countries, still some countries, we still continue to use endosulfan. Such a corrosive chemical that it can destroy our appendages, the hands of farmers, at the same time affect the farmers in such a way that they can cause long-term damage. And the same thing happens to our stomachs. So what we eat finally in the plate is nothing but poison. All these diseases are associated with this sort of chemicals. You can read it for yourselves. You want to buy fruits today in the market, most of the fruits are ripened with the help of ethylene compounds. Please be careful as to what you buy, because most of the fruits are ripened with the help of these compounds. So what a child eats and drinks, is it safe? Start looking at it. On one side, we talk about waste management. Can Soroptimist Club rename it and call it as resource management? Vermitech is one of the terms. Vermi is earthworms, tech is technology. Applying earthworms in technology. And please understand that there are 3 types of earthworms in the world. The whole world, 3 types of worms. Worms which are on the surface, worms which burrow, and worms which are at the bottom. It's the surface worms which we use normally. The surface worms like these, the Icenia fetida, the Eudralus eugeni, we use for composting purposes. And vermicomposting is very simple. I hope you take it up as a program for teaching households how to do it. It's very simple procedure. It's a very simple procedure where you multiply earthworms. And these earthworms eat the organic matter and give us beautiful manure, which can be used for your tree plantation program. So when you think about the tree, also think about the nutrition for the plants. This is how we keep doing it. I'm just showing you some slides so that you have an idea that it could be done at any stage, any stage. We have been teaching a lot of people, a lot of rural areas in India, also in Asian countries. In fact, I had also addressed some of the international seminars overseas. But what I'm worried is, I have a worry, cause of worry, that companies are bringing in this sort of a unit and say that compost can be prepared in 24 hours. Compost cannot be prepared in 24 hours. A machine cannot prepare compost in 24 hours. It's impossible. Compost is a natural process. Why should I think about all this? Please, participants, my humble, honorable participants, please understand this concept. Supposing you want to take this fish and this fish has died. You want to retain it for 3-4 days. You don't have a refrigerator. You don't have ice with you. So what will you do? You will add salt to it. If you add salt to it, the fish will not rot because it will become dry fish. The same way, when we add salts to our soil, nitrate is the salt of nitrogen, phosphate is the salt of phosphorus, potassium is the salt of potassium. You keep on adding salt, our soil becomes something like a dry fish, nothing but dry fish. Same thing again, if I take too much of salt, if I consume too much of salt, what is it that I want immediately? I need water. So when you add too much of salt to your soil starts demanding water. So in the case of large number of chemical plants today, with no water, it's a big problem for us. So please understand these concepts. And you people, when you go to the market, please understand these basic concepts. If a hand has edema, edema is because of salt deposition. The hand with the edema looks more beautiful than the normal hand because it is red like a tomato and hard like a potato. Is that clear? Chemically grown vegetables look very hard and stout. But when you buy them and leave them on the table, they start rotting because of water in them. Please understand these concepts for your garden. You are planting your trees, but please understand this simple concept. If you're walking in the rain and holding the umbrella, the water will fall around the umbrella, not on my head. If I stand under a tree, a few drops may fall on my head, but the water will fall around the tree. Why should water fall around the tree? Because the roots which drink are there. So please see to it. Doesn't move. What happened? Yeah, yeah. See to it that you water the trees near the canopy. See to it that you water the trees near the canopy. Unfortunately, we don't water trees near the canopy. So when you plant trees, don't water them near the trunk, because the roots which drink are not near the trunk. The roots which drink are near the canopy. Please see to it that you do it. And please promote people to grow plants at home. How much soil is required to grow a plant? To grow mint, you require only 4 inches of soil. To grow mint, you require only 4 inches of soil. To grow microgreens, you require only 3 to 4 inches of soil. So you can grow microgreens, you can grow mint, you can grow anything. In fact, we grow microgreens in ordinary small coconut shells. Coconut shells. It's beautiful, it's very rich, good for health, and you can easily grow microgreens in whatever containers you have. I in fact play with children, so I use a lot of toys along with plants, so the children feel happy about it. These are all my garden. They're all my garden. How much of water is required for a plant? If I want to drink water, I take a glass of water. If I want to bathe, I take a bucket of water. If I want to swim, I go to a swimming pool. So for me, I require only a glass of water. Similarly, plants require only moisture. Please start preparing a lot of foliar sprays for your tree plantation program. It is very simple to produce substances like vermiwash. These are all liquid fertilizers. All the procedures are in my website. I will give it to you finally. You can prepare a lot of materials which are called as Panchakavya. In fact, it's very simple. You can also prepare from rotting fruits or ripened fruits. You can prepare this beautiful tonics for plants. From fish waste, you can prepare fish amino. All the procedures, because they're being recorded, you can check it up later comfortably. And bioenzyme can be prepared with the help of orange peels and lemon peels. This could be used for various purposes. For those people who feel that you are very busy and you have no time, banana peels, leave them in a jar, add water, close it, leave it for 4 or 5 days. Then you take that water and use it. You have an excellent fertilizer for yourself. This fertilizer has immense amount of potassium in it. Or you dry the peels, powder them, or shred them, add eggshells to it, and then you add them. That also gives immense fertilizers. Eggshells, break them, put them in a bottle, add vinegar to it. Vinegar is acetic acid. It starts bubbling, produces beautiful liquid. Decant it after about 48 hours. Dilute it, spray it. You have a large number of fertilizers, beautiful elements present in it, which can promote your plant growth. Please be careful with seeds. Please be careful, because today's seeds, heirloom seeds are vanishing. Heirloom seeds are native seeds. They are vanishing. Most of the seeds in the market are heavily colored. This coloration is because of pesticides called as neonicotinoids. Please be very careful when you handle these seeds. Please be very careful. We have alternatives for it. We are trying to promote it with farmers, and that is using termite soil and other things. It's very effective, very effective. Once upon a time, we had farmers' seeds. Today, market seeds. So please understand the concept, and please understand that there is a fight going on between hybrids and GMOs. Do we need GMOs? I leave it to you. We work against GMOs because we don't need golden rice. We don't need genetically modified cotton. We don't need genetically modified brinjal or the eggplant, which is becoming popular now, which they want to introduce with the market, just for the simple reason that India has 60 varieties of brinjal today. 60 varieties. And my state alone has 22 varieties of brinjal. So should I accept one variety from a company? I do not know. The same way now the government of India is going to promote these genetically modified seeds. People from other countries, please be aware of all these details. Mustard, please understand that they would like to introduce it through a different name, and this name will be called as DMH11, where the name will be hybrid. Yes, it is a hybrid of genetically modified crops. Please understand what will happen. What will happen? Biodiversity will create all the judo karate, biotechnology will shoot it down. I am not against biotechnology. I am not against biotechnology, but where we should apply. Please also concentrate on water, because water levels are decreasing, depleting. Every year they are depleting. Let us save water. Only animals know the necessity of water because they don't have tube wells for them. Rainwater harvesting. Can you also promote rainwater harvesting along with tree plantation? Can you also, because I do it, what all I'm talking, I'm doing it in my place, right? But apart from this, many homes, maximum water is being used in washing machines and bathroom. Almost all the homes. Can you put up a small tank like this? Even Naina knows a lot about this. Small tanks with baffles, put pebbles, grow plants like Phragmites or Colocasia or Canna. Plant these plants into it, in the tank itself, so that the plants grow into it, and then they look so beautiful, like a garden. And this garden, you send the water from your washing machine. The washing machine has soap water, and this soap water passes through this canal from this simple unit. And the water comes out as a wonderful water. This water can be used for your tree plantation programs. This water can be used for watering your plants, for watering your garden, for recharging the water, for several purposes. And please eat properly. My humble request to you. Today, many people are eating a lot, but undernourished. This is also ecology. I always believe in my national flag, which I want to share with you. This is our national flag, Indian flag. The first color is orange. Take some food of that color every day. Let it be papaya or carrot or orange or mangoes. That gives you carotene pigment. Take the second color, white. Calcium is essential. Take milk. If you're a vegan, take some alternatives. Green colored vegetables alone have fiber in them. Take sufficient quantity of fiber. The chakra is blue in color. Take sufficient quantity of water. And there are 24 lines in the chakra, which means 24 hours, eat the colors in our national flag that provides you with the required nutrients. That's the school where I studied, where they even today serve me the same food whenever I go there. And please understand about sweets. Most of the sweets today contain aspartame. Please be very careful when you give sweets to children. Color in food is increasing. Please understand to control color. Lots of colors have come into the market, food colors. Please be very careful. All the so-called red-colored chicken pakoras and the red-colored gobi pakoras, unless it is fruit-based color, please be very careful with colors. You all know orange is this color. You all know that orange is this color, right? If orange is this color, why is it that the soft drink is a different color? Why? Why is it so? Hormones are being introduced into milk production. Please understand, hormones are being introduced, and milk will be produced, but cows will develop mastitis of the udder, and girl children drinking this milk will attain puberty at the age of 8 or 9. I'm showing you a classic case now. Please watch this carefully. Just born female calf, just born female calf yielding half a liter of milk. We are playing with hormones. Please understand. Plastics, I'm repeatedly telling you, be careful with plastics. Every plastic has a number. Next time you buy a plastic, look for a triangle with the number. Please do not buy plastics without numbers. 1, 2, and 5 are food grade plastics, right? 7 has come in the market. Be careful. Be careful. 7 has come in the market. New Zealand has brought a regulation. It should be declared phthalate and BPA free. Please, all the Asian countries insist on it, that it should be. Microplastics are going to become a problem now. They have come in toothpaste. They have come and they are occurring in water. In Chennai water has plastics. Microplastics are reported from salt. Microplastic is reported in fish. And recently, very recently, microplastics are reported in fruits and vegetables. Please avoid paper cups lined with plastic. Please understand these concepts. So please be creative. Please be creative. Earthworms are vanishing from the soil. Let us bring back the earthworms in the soil. Let us reworm the world, because when it rains, water is not able to go inside. When worms come and make burrows into them, and when it rains, water will go inside, and rich water resources can reach our soils. That is the circulatory system of the soil. That is the rich circulatory system of the soil. So we shall work on it. My greatest reward that I have received, even though Naina was reading about the awards, I believe in reward. The government of Tamil Nadu state textbook carries information about my work, which has been the greatest reward which I could earn in my lifetime. But please understand one magic word for everything, and that is management. Management. Without the last letter T, it is manage men. That is manage human beings. And without the last letter N, it is manage me. So first, let us manage each one of us ourselves. Then we can manage others, and that is management. I strongly believe in these words of Rabindranath Tagore, that with every child that is born comes a message that God is not yet disappointed with man. So let us leave behind a healthy environment for children who are yet to be born in this world, all for Earth's sake. Let us all work for Earth's sake. That's my view, but who cares? All the best. Good luck. Thanks very much for the opportunity. All the details are available in these websites. You can check out the websites, and I have given my email. If there is any doubt, you can write to me. Thank you very much, and good luck to you all. I'll exit from the share now so that we can discuss. Is it all right?
Yes, thank you,
Hello?
Professor. Yes.
Thank you. I have exited from the share. Yeah. My God.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was a wonderful talk. You have covered so many issues, and I think we have questions on a few things coming in. People are very interested in what you are saying. Our first question is from Jackie asking, are there trees that protect from soil erosion better than other trees?
To my knowledge, trees which are native, which we call as endemic trees, are always better than exotic trees, because endemic trees usually have a deep rooting system, and this deep rooting system holds the soil together, whereas exotics grow fast, so they move laterally their roots. These do not help in soil prevention of soil erosion.
Okay, thank you. I think that's that one. Another question was, how can we make people understand that they need to act quite quickly without causing a panic, but in order to keep our soils clean and improve them?
People are not relating their food to the soil. So the best way we could create an awareness is to create an awareness to relate food with the soil. Unfortunately, the media projects about hydroponics and aquaponics, which is only a small churn of production which takes place in the world. So my humble request and suggestion would be that you people, whenever you make a sort of a program, try to highlight the importance of soil.
I'm going out when this is finished.
Thank you. Can we ask people to please stay on mute when you're leaving the meeting, because it's causing some interference with the speaker? Thank you. A question from Margaret. Is it a good idea to plant fruit trees at schools in order to help counteract poverty?
Transfer trees? I did not get you.
She was asking if we can plant fruit trees at schools. She did say native ones, to counteract poverty, so that maybe the children can use the fruit at the school.
Definitely, yes. You know, like instead of growing fancy trees, it is always safer and better to grow fruit trees. But the fruit trees should be which are good for the children. And second thing is, you should see to it that children are not allowed to hurt themselves by climbing and taking it. But otherwise, growing fruit trees, even on avenue roads, would be very ideal because it can, to a large extent, fight poverty.
Thank you. We have a question now from Yvonne, and she was asking if we do not take steps to improve our soil, and dealing with things such as waste and genetically modified organisms and other things that you mentioned, what do you think will be the ultimate impact?
The ultimate impact, the problem is most of these technologies are anthropocentric, which means human-centered. Whenever the plants grow, the genetically modified plants grow, they not only grow, but their roots inside also exudate a different type of amino acids, which can have an impact on the microorganism populations of that place. In the same way, the leaf litter which falls down and decomposes over there, which is consumed by a variety of microarthropods and the earthworms, can also have an impact on those populations. So all these components will not be visible in one generation. It may take a longer time to have to see the impact of these things. So the problem is because the industry has invested money into it, they want to have returns from it. And the easy market is the Asian market where there's a heavy population. So we have to be aware as a human beings as to what is to be taken and what is to be avoided.
Yes, I think so. We've had a question from Shukla Chattopadhyay, and she was asking in the Sundarbans, where they're planting mangroves now, how many ways are they helpful to plant the mangroves?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Mangroves are one of the most wonderful trees for any delta region. For any delta region. I always tell that mangroves are like this eyebrows. Eyebrows totally useless. You can even shave them off. Useless. Yes. When you are sitting in an air-conditioned room, eyebrows are useless. When you are running in the sun and when you sweat, the sweat is salt water. When it goes into my eyes, it will hurt my eyes. That is done. The eyebrows trap them and take the water to the side. Mangroves are like eyebrows to the lands. They protect any sort of, in fact, during the tsunami, Bangladesh suffered worse than the Sundarbans just because Bangladesh had not protected their mangrove plants. And wherever there were mangroves, at Vishakhapatnam border, at South India near Chidambaram, you could see that they had protected the land perfectly, all the citizens in those places. And mangroves are not just that. Mangroves are an edge species. They come under a dynamic culture between a river and the sea. And they are the breeding grounds for livelihoods of people who live over there. They are the ones which breed the prawns, the shrimps, the crabs, all these organisms. It's a huge diversity and a vital component for any aquatic estuarine system.
So that
So
sounds like
anybody who wants to protect it, please protect it. It's wonderful.
So that sounds like that's
Thank
a
you.
huge success story then with the mangroves and the Sundarbans. That sounds like it's being very effective.
Yeah.
I think we just one more question. Somebody has asked, what would you recommend is the best way to counter any people who are supporting genetically modified foods?
It's in fact very difficult by a common people to work against it, because policies have to change, and the policies are, as you are aware, I need not go into the details of political things over here, or
Yes.
politically based. Yeah. So awareness creation for by human beings for common people would be excellent. And in your tree plantation program, my only humble request would be, just seed balls won't help you. You will have to grow trees and then plant them. And what I normally recommend for these sort of programs is, grow trees in small bags, cement bags, empty cement bags. Allow them to grow till they are about 4 feet, 4.5 feet tall. By that time, the bag would rot and the roots would come out and envelop the bag, very sturdy. Take it, dig a pit 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet, add soil and manure, put the tree, your success rate would be all the best.
Thank you. That's very good advice. I think I have some trees that I actually have to plant soon, so I will be taking your advice on that one. There aren't any further questions that come in. We will keep a record of them and see if we can get answers for them. But I think I will hand over now to Naina. And once again, thank you very much for your presentation. People in the chat box have said it was very well explained and presented and easy to understand. And thank you very much for your time and all your knowledge. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Professor. I'm going to ask Jackie to propose the thanks. Jackie?
Professor Ishmael, I can't thank you enough for sharing your incredible experience. That was a real canter through everything, environmental and biodiversity. You've definitely inspired me to think about wormiculture and to perhaps start looking at producing my own liquid fertilizer. I'm sure it's probably raised a lot more questions in people's minds than it's given answers, but I think, you know, that's what's so great about these sort of presentations. So thank you very much for sharing some of your research and your insights, and I think I'm hoping everybody feels a bit inspired to go and learn a bit more about biodiversity and the environment. So thank you very much,
Thank you.
Professor Ismail.
Thank you very much, and good luck to you all. And a special thanks to my good friend Naina for making me participate in this. Thank you very much, Naina. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure, absolutely pleasure listening to you again. Thank you.
I had just shared information about some of the plants. Any fruits, any vegetables can be used to be converted into a fertilizer. No problem. All the best.
Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed our first webinar. It's been a learning for us all and a real experiment. So your feedback would be really appreciated. Please let your club members know they can listen to the recording of this first webinar by going to the Plant Trees website next week, and do look out for our future webinars from the Plant Trees team. The next webinar will be the same time, 2:30 on January the 30th, and the speaker will be John Tucker, who's the director of the Woodland Outreach for the Woodland Trust. And he's going to talk about all things trees and hopefully lots of advice in terms of how we go about planting trees across 2021. So it's goodbye from the Plant Trees team, and thank you very much. And I hope you've enjoyed it, and have an enjoyable rest of your weekend.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Nana.
Thank
Brilliant.
you.
Thank you. Very good. Excellent.
Thank you.
Oh, I loved you all came in large numbers.
Thank you
We
very
had
much.
104.
Excellent.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Nana.
Thank you. Thank you, Nana.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Naina.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Nana. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
It was a wonderful session.
Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Jackie, are you still there?
Yeah.
And Jackie, can you see any of the rest of the questions in the chat?
I can, and it actually.
Somebody has
I don't think there's